Okay.
I meant that's what I said.
I thought you just meant
I thought you were talking about just some music.
Y'all,
I thought you were talking about
we back with another episode of My Turn, My
some
Truth.
type of way. Make you feel some type of
So
way.
right now, I'm feeling some type of
Some
way.
type of way. Make you feel some type of way.
Maybe it's the
I'm
song.
a smooth operator.
I drop top of my whip. This car I'm driving make you feel some type of way. This custom brightly make you feel some type of way. Is it cause my homies rich you feel some type of way? Me and my homie Digital, you feel some type of way.
Again, y'all, we paying
Some type
homie.
of way.
We paying
Make you
homage to rich homie Quan.
Some
Okay.
type of way. Make you feel some type of way.
Oh, that's funny right now.
Everything is just happening.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You have to have fun.
Oh.
You have to have
And
fun.
you making me feel some type of way right now. I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh.
Mm.
Like and subscribe. We gonna feel some type of way.
That's right.
Thankful for the support every day.
Okay.
Some type of way.
Freestyle.
Make us feel some type of way. Share it to all of your friends. Feel some type of way. Oh, some type of way. Make you feel some type of way.
Hey.
Some type of way. Make you feel some type of way.
That's right.
Okay.
Rest in peace, rich homie.
It's okay. She gonna freestyle next week.
She was just about to let it go.
She was about
just
to.
about to get to it.
No.
But she ain't do it.
Mama's freestyling next week. Just be
No, I'm not,
prepared.
y'all.
Tune in.
If that
Indeed.
make y'all come and listen, I might freestyle for
Tune
y'all.
in.
She
Let
go
us
hard.
know
She
what
go
y'all
hard in
want
the
us to
paint with it, I'm
freestyle
telling
to.
Well, right now, y'all looking at the Rice Man. Who else we got with us tonight?
Marielle.
Mata?
It's your girl Ken. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at m.kennedii. Y'all know. Also, follow our YouTube page. Subscribe at My Turn My Truth Podcast. Also, My Turn My Truth Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Like, subscribe, share some more, and some more, and some more, and some more. Yeah.
That part right there. Whatever she said. Okay,
Whatever
I
I
want to hit
said.
some more of that, but I ain't gonna do it. That thing that go hard.
Okay, we got some people tuning in. Hey, Mr. Ometris.
What's
All
up,
right.
Up,
Mitch?
dog?
Big O. What's happening?
Johnny O.
All right. So we got some things to talk about tonight. We want to see what y'all feeling like out there. I always got to lead. Why I gotta always lead? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you would just
I
be
mean,
taking the
you
lead.
the
You in the
lead.
lead chair.
Okay. I feel that.
Appoint somebody to
Oh,
The
lead.
head of the
oh.
household.
If you
Oh.
right.
You know what?
Bro, come on.
I am feeling
Come
that right
on.
now. Yeah. So we got some entertainment news tonight. Do y'all want to start with the biggest thing going on tonight?
Of course.
All right.
I guess it is entertainment. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, so I'm almost sick and tired of the whole Diddy thing.
Sick and tired ain't the words.
But it is
I
relevant.
agree.
People are following this, and so we have to bring you current news. So we're going to talk about it a little bit tonight.
Okay.
So where do we start? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
my goodness.
he was denied bail
okay.
or bond because I'm sure they considered him a flight risk, and
Absolutely.
so he is in there until all this goes the way it's going to go. So. Since everybody over there, they are quiet and looking at me like I
Because you
got the answers right.
introducing. No, you,
Yes,
you,
so-
you started. So we trying to see where you going.
So, what do y'all think the chips gonna fall? I mean, how do y'all see this ending up?
He gonna stay in jail. He ain't getting out.
Yeah,
No.
I think maybe when he older, he might have a possibility of parole. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, let me ask y'all out there: do y'all think it's a bigger fish in this to fry than Diddy? I mean, you know, he seems to have been the facilitator because a lot of things were at his home, but y'all know that there were people there that was involved, probably billionaires and multi-millionaires that were a part of this. I'm saying no names because I have no evidence. But we know that coming from other artists and people that were at some of these freak offs, and they themselves said things got pretty wild. Now, being wild and being illegal are two different things.
Absolutely.
But he's in there on sex trafficking. Is that correct? Is that one of the charges? sex trafficking.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
What a racketeering.
Yes.
And there's a couple other things. What were the other two?
Sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
I don't know if it's legal to give people drugs to make them do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
I don't know all the charges. I didn't read.
That was the 4 big charges.
I don't know. These are just brain picking questions. Do y'all think that him giving these people drugs? Do y'all think any of these people took them like willingly?
No, because I think it slipped into their drinks.
Like all of the people females that were. So you don't think anybody who was included in any of these freak offs willingly did anything?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I was asking. Yeah. Like, I mean, they probably took
some
drugs.
of them probably took those drugs very willingly. And I'm sure some people did not.
Shout out to my brother. He on here watching. Hey, Kenzie.
Hey, son.
Hey, what's up, son? What happening, bruh?
We got to shout out the rest of the people now. See, did you shout out Mike Brown?
What's up, Mike Brown?
Brizzy.
What's up? Thank y'all so much for watching. So here's the thing. So let's get the conversation going. So here's what I'm thinking. Now, I guess out of the whole situation, we know Diddy did what he did, right? And he's accused. They have had to find a lot of evidence to put him in jail and to deny his bail bond, whatever.
Correct.
So he's there. So they have proof enough for that. But here's my thing, because this is what's irking me about the whole scenario. Mm-hmm. When I get on TikTok, if you watch TikTok one thing all the way through, they go feed it to you over and over and over again from different not even necessarily from different perspectives, but just different people saying the same thing over and over again. So this is what's getting on my nerves about the whole thing. Why people is calling out everybody that went to a dang on party as they got some type of scheme and involvement, conspiracy in it, and that they on this dang on list, and they all finna just go down like that. I mean, to me, and what I'm hearing, I feel like the party is getting started like an after party. So people go to the party and they're in the industry with this dude. They thinking of this, a straight up party. And then there's an after party and some of them folks gone. Now they probably not heard through the grapevine things that's going on, but not necessarily meaning that they witness it with their own eyes. But the internet is ruthless, and it is just going after everybody that ever been to a Diddy party, and they all guilty and have to be up under the jail with Diddy. I don't think so. I just don't think that's the case.
Also, this man he got away with it for this long, so he seemed to have some type of strategic plan. Do we really think that this man would allow everybody into his parties? There's some people that he just wasn't going to allow in there.
Not to that portion.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just because I've been to a Diddy party don't mean that I've been to a freak off.
Right.
Like, I didn't.
Or even if the person did go to a freak off, don't mean they participated in illegal activity. It's just that the internet just love to just, especially people that is on like high standards, and I'm not gonna call all them names because I don't know if people guilty or not. But the thing is, guilty until proven innocent. Now we know that Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever he's calling himself nowadays, we know that he's guilty because he's where he needs to be. But all these other people, can we see the evidence?
Right. Like, I saw a list of like 45 names of all the people that have attended Diddy parties. So there's all the who's who, everybody from Oprah to,
everybody,
Chris Brown to
everybody,
Jay-Z, Beyonce. Don't say their names, Lord.
Meek Mill, everybody. Mary J. Blige,
T.D. Jakes. It's just a laundry list of people. We have to understand that, Diddy was at one point like one of the hottest dudes in New York. And if he's having a party, it's a who's who. Who's not going? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going. Right. If you got an album out, you got this out, and he throwing the biggest bash in New York that weekend or whatever. A lot of people are going. Right. And I know a lot of people have on the record said that after the regular party was over, they left.
Absolutely.
Now, back to the freak house part of the party, which they all did say was a real thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a real thing.
I feel like whether you participated or not, if there were minors involved with drugs and sex and you were there and stayed, you are complicit.
And you watched.
Oh yeah,
Or
absolutely,
participated.
absolutely, absolutely.
If you watch, it was this one point when Justin Bieber was underage, Usher was underage, a lot of people were underage. Not saying that they had anything to do with this, but they attended some of these parties. They were involved with some of these parties. Either the first party, I don't know about the freak-offs, but there were a lot of them underage at one point.
Yeah.
And, if I'm there and I see things that aren't, now when you talk about minors, are not legal, now I can leave, but does that absolve me of any wrongdoing if I leave and don't report anything?
Right. But how do when Morgan made a good point when we was just talking earlier? She was like, "How do we know that they didn't report it and it just was going unnoticed or
because it was like
just pushed aside until now that this big case and it has broken? Now, oh my gosh, all these people knew and they just didn't report it. How do we not know that they didn't report it?
We would know. I just think that they break stories like this. TMZ and everybody else. Diddy would hate them. They would fall out. It'd be a big to-do. I mean, you would. I think somehow, if I went and snitched and it went mainstream, and this is an assumption now.
It depends on who did the
Let's go
snitching.
on the assumption that they did not tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we know some people. Some people saw some things that weren't right.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, now going to court about that.
Right.
Where do you stand on that? What would that person be able to say if they look young, but I didn't know for sure. I didn't ask. Mm-hmm. I could play the oblivious role. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. The girl had makeup on. She looked old enough to me. I don't know. So
because I'm not checking there. I'm not at the door card checking everybody. So
well, I know for in the Tubi or whatever they did, the documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, there was at least one of the girls
singing,
who was on Making the Band or something with Diddy. Yes, and she.
And nobody
there are videos. Her. She came out before all of this, and I think it just goes back to like what Mom said. Who said something? It's like she's nobody. Diddy can pay to get that covered up.
She filed a suit.
And then it was a episode where she was talking to a certain political affiliate, and they was like, "Oh well, you don't like Diddy? I love Diddy. I would defend him until the end. Diddy. Some people call him the Diddler, and this is my boy. So to me, I feel like." It's the who's who. So if you ain't a who's of the who, they don't care what you saying. They really don't care. So if a person who don't have enough clout is not saying anything, they swept that crap on the rug until it hit where it did now. Like Cassie, when she told the story, it started to unravel. So that's what I feel. And Kojak said, looking bad for Diddy. Mike said, Hop. But I think some of those others at the parties knew what he was doing at the after party. Sitting 100%. Back, being silent was allowing some of the things to continue.
Right.
So, and I do believe that too. But what I'm saying is, I guess what I'm saying is, we can't just assume that and I guess no one said everybody knew. Some people did know, but at the same point, some people that was talking, again, it all depends on who's doing the talking to when they're gonna really open up an investigation, or maybe it just was timing for the police and the officials was like looking at him the whole while and just trying to gain enough evidence to take him down.
They obviously was looking at him for a while, compiling information. Right. You don't want to arrest.
Oh no, I was just going to say.
You don't want to arrest anybody and can't make it stick. We saw enough of Law and Order to understand that just because the person is guilty, without the evidence that supports it, they're going to be set free. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a certain amount of information you have to compile before you truly address somebody. But when you hear now that it's hit the fan, all the bodyguards coming out and talking about the things that they've seen. So I think those people
probably was in cahoots the whole while, helping gain evidence.
A lot of people saw things. Now that's coming out, and later everybody's saying they saw things. Now it's the pile-on method. Like when Bill Cosby's case come out, finally somebody want to bring it to trial, then all of a sudden 10 women come out. You know what I'm saying? Like
So
everybody's coming out because they got company.
Correct.
You know, it's easier to come
'Cause
out
it's
when
easy-
everybody else is
with
coming out.
numbers, and it bring more credibility to your story because you feel like you're not alone. I know that's why the whole Me Too movement was started, because a lot of women that came out, no one believed them. But then when you have a group of people that stand behind you, then it's easier to state the facts.
Right. And I think a lot of people did believe them.
I'm just trying to...
I mean, a lot of people did believe them. It's just that going out and choosing sides against somebody like Weinstein or something like that, you know that he can end your career.
Right. So
with a phone call, you have no more work in Hollywood.
And some people said Diddy could do the same.
He could.
So Mike Brown said, Diddy, let's keep it real. Let God be the judge. And then he said, it's so sad. So let God handle this. It's a massive problem. He shall be punished or rewarded? ?
Punished.
Well, I agree, because none of us are without sin.
Correct.
Course.
Absolutely.
And of course, let he without sin cast the first stone. That means literally nobody's throwing rocks. It couldn't be. But now that we want to talk about it in a way that will shed light and maybe stop something else from happening, because we listen to those boys from B2K. And you hear what they said happened. They were made to suck each other off and do this kind of stuff, and it was tough. You know what I'm saying? These coming out of their mouths telling you what happened in some of these places. So I mean, one of the questions is, what would you do for fame and fortune?
Absolutely.
You know, if you know the sign with Diddy, he a rump ranger, and he gonna want to do some things to you and his contract. What's enough money? Because there is not enough money in this world. Not $1 trillion. Not
$1
$1 trillion wouldn't do it for me. I didn't have $1 trillion yesterday, and guess what? I was fine. I didn't have $1 trillion last year. Guess what? I'm fine. I'm right here today. I don't have $1 trillion today, and I'm fine. And I think the dollars, because dealing with some people, what's going to be required of you.
Absolutely.
Correct.
You've heard enough, seen enough, and and once they make that proposal to you, you have a choice. You can go and sign with someone else, or you can choose to go for the fortune and fame. You know, like Satan said when he said, kneel before me and I'll give you
all of this,
all of this, but it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
My thing, I wanted to go back to Mike real quick, because I feel like I personally, I don't feel like we're throwing stones at Diddy. It's just that we're compiling the evidence, or the evidence is against him, and then he's being judged accordingly. And the thing is, I'm not condemning Diddy, but I am acknowledging that he supposedly has sinned, and that's what we're pointing out. We're pointing out the sin at this point. So we can't hide behind throwing stones, because I don't feel like that's what we're doing. I feel like we're just acknowledging the fact that he did something wrong, because he did something wrong to other people. It's not just him that's involved. He's involved other people, and particularly maybe even minors. So at some point, we as Christians, we cannot sit behind don't throw stones and this, that, and the other. But at some point, we have to call out sin. It is what it is.
And there's a difference between right and wrong. It just, some things are right, something is wrong. It's illegal or it's legal. I mean, that's just... I mean,
he spoke about him and Usher sleeping in the same bed, waking up in the morning and fussing and fighting over the cereal. Like, but what reason would Usher as a minor, or Justin Bieber as a minor, be sleeping in the same bed as
with a grown behind man,
your executive producer or record label artist? What would be... What scenario could make that right? I can't think of not one scenario. If you have a mansion with 27 bedrooms and I got to sleep in the same bed with you, like, you know what I'm saying? It is no reason that parents should allow that, or anybody should ever allow that. That's just crazy.
Right. I saw a video today that was of Justin Bieber and Diddy, and Diddy was asking him, like, why aren't you hanging out with me anymore? And he was like,
he looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I was like...
And 50 Cent said, hey, man, that's why 50 Cent said he'd never fool with Diddy. He said, hey, man, why don't we ever get together? Why don't we ever party? Man, come hang out with me. I'll take you shopping. And 50 Cent was like, he said the same thing to Fabulous, too. Like, take me shopping. That's what a dude would say to a woman, not a dude.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's weird.
There are a lot of things that are red flags, but when somebody's making you money, and making a lot of people money,
You overlook them.
a lot of things get swept
You
up
do.
under.
Yeah.
It's just like an abusive. It's like an abusive relationship.
Also, this man, he got some type of smarts. I think Diddy probably had these people signing stuff. If you come to this, you can't
all
say
kind of
nothing.
disclosures.
NDAs,
Non-disclosure,
non-disclosures, all of that. And also with all this stuff with him and Biggie and all this stuff, some people were probably actually scared this man might put a hit out on me.
Well, we don't know that.
It's reported that he could and would put a hit out on people. Could.
So that's
had all the money and resources.
Exactly. So they like
and know the right people to
if
get
I
it done.
say something, ain't no telling what might happen. A lot of people were probably scared.
I mean,
I would say Justin Bieber was like really young in that video too. So
right. And you know, the guy already said Diddy paid him to go kill Tupac or paid his nephew to kill Tupac. I mean, the guy is able to put hits on people.
Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely. He got
and it's on record
endless
that
money that he can do that.
people have gone to court and said that he has that capability and desire to do so if crossed.
Well, we have a few more comments that I want to read. Mike said, do y'all think that audio of what was supposed to be Diddy and Meek was real?
I have no reason to believe that was real because there were no faces. You couldn't see.
AI is crazy.
AI
is crazy.
There's AI everywhere, artificial intelligence. You can do this, make anybody sound like anybody. You can do this. Man, I have no way to corroborate that. So I never paid that any attention.
He said, what you think? He ain't saying corroborating and making the facts.
I have no thought.
I haven't even heard it. Like I've
heard it.
I never even listened to it. So I don't know.
I don't think it's real. I've heard it, but I don't think it's real. I think somebody kind of put that together.
I think just because Meek Mill and Diddy may be friends, that don't put none of this on him. Diddy is a grown man in his own person. Just because somebody friends with him and hang out with him don't mean nothing.
Right.
That don't mean that he went to them parties. Don't mean he participated in anything. That just mean that might be his homeboy. A lot of them hang out with each other. They're all celebrities. You probably hang out. I'm not saying you specifically, but people here hang out with people that commit crimes. That don't mean you also committed one. Right. I mean,
well, Mike Hop said he blew up Kid. Is it Cudi? Cudi car. Is that true? I don't know.
That. I have heard that.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, I guess before you sign your contract with somebody like that,
a lawyer,
you're not making me sign any non-disclosures that I give up my rights if I see something wrong.
But see, but here's the thing though, when people like Usher and people like Justin Bieber and even people like Mary J. Blige, when they came into the scene, a lot of them got screwed over because, well, I don't know necessarily. I'm saying Usher and Justin Bieber because of the age. So they probably are not looking in detail at contracts, or they probably don't. I don't know if they had attorneys or whatever at that time to point certain things out to them. And just like we know the story of Mary J. Blige, she is very open about how she was screwed over in the industry because she did not know the business side of it. And I think a lot of times people get so caught up in the fame and the popularity and the touring and just, all the stuff that we see on TV. They get caught up with that at first, and then they go back and then they see all the business side of it and see how they were screwed over. Screwed over with a lot of stuff, and then they may have seen some of that type of stuff in the contract.
I mean, of course, when he signed them, they weren't rich people; they were broke.
Yeah. Right, correct.
Yeah. So broke people tend to, want to be rich, and if you have a gift and you can sing or you can dance or you can rap, and you want your gift to grace the world, you sign with somebody that's big,
Right.
And he didn't prey on rich people because rich people didn't need his money like that. There a lot of them at that time did not have resources.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think though with the whole Justin Bieber Usher thing, we're hearing about them and how other people are seeing this stuff and all of this. Where were their parents?
We always ask that, and it's a great question, Mark, because I'm thinking if my child is making this kind of money, I'm his personal chaperone and road manager.
And I gotta
Right.
see you not
Or
staying
her.
out
You
all
know what I'm
night
saying?
living
I will
with this
quit my
person.
job.
I will quit my job and I'm hitting the
Yeah.
road and I'm having eyes on my child,
And
my
you-
underage child.
Right, and you
Right.
as a parent, you probably heard of these parties. No, you're not calling your kid, all this stuff, and they out 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
But we don't know that they're not calling their kids, so we can't just.
I'm just
assume.
saying, like, I'm asking, like, are you not
Right.
calling?
Okay,
and
are you not
seeing-
calling? Okay.
And seeing like, oh, they're out at a party at 4 a.m. and my kid's 14. Like, that would be like a little bit alarming that my child comes to stay with you and I don't know anything.
Well, they shipped their child off to stay with them to make him a star.
Right, but
Yeah.
That's what they did. So they entrusted this person to
stay in the studio,
to
go on
stay in the
road.
studio, and because you do know that on that side of the of profession that there is a lot of late work. There is late nights. Your dad, of course, was an artist at one point, and he was in the studios to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's not unusual. And then you're not gonna drive all the way back to wherever your home is, or fly all the way back from wherever Diddy is to wherever Usher lived, or whatever the case may be. Those are long, strenuous nights. So that's not unreasonable for a child to be out at that time and not in the studio.
That's what I'm
or
saying.
on tour. Because if you're doing a tour, your tour is probably gonna start at 8 o'clock.
I'm not saying that,
Or
but
whatever
there
the case
are
may be.
paparazzi at these parties at this time, and I'm just saying, like, at some point, a parent gonna want to go check out what my kid is doing. I'm gonna want to go see.
We will hope.
And I'm sure there are probably times that they did.
So
And
I
everything
would
was
like,
and everything
Everything was
looked the
kosher
way it was
that
supposed
night.
to look.
I would like to hear or
parent
see,
side.
a parent
Yeah.
of one of these young people, because
Well.
there's probably way more younger people than just Diddy.
Well, didn't
Usher.
Usher say his mom was his manager?
I don't know.
I don't know his background, so
Okay.
I'm not gonna speak on it.
But
I don't
guys,
know.
I mean, I think the biggest allegation here, I mean, if you're a consenting adult and you attend a fully consensual freak off and drug session, that's on you.
Absolutely.
If you weren't drugged and no one did anything illegal to you and without your consent, those are not the people that I'm concerned about. The sex trafficking
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Right.
is the silver bullet, the big thing.
Absolutely.
If there were underage or of age people that were kidnapped, taken or sold,
Not giving their consent.
and the word is, you get you a little 13, 14-year-old girl and you sell her
It's
to
just
the
disgusting.
highest bidding. Everybody's watching Taken, where
Mhm.
It's just
where
disgusting.
Liam Neeson and his daughter were taken and they were selling her on the market because she was a virgin and they were bidding on her millions of dollars. That's a thing, a real thing. Unless it wouldn't have been in the movie, it's a real thing. And if you have enough power and a rich billionaire comes to you
Mhm.
and says, I want to hang out tonight, Dita, what you got for me? He said, what you want? He said, I want a boy, young. Can you supply that for me? And someone acquiesces and says, yes, I got you. I got whatever you want. What you want? Young, old, teenager, grown, whatever. That right there
Absolutely.
is sex trafficking is huge all over the world.
It is.
People are getting just kidnapped, taken, and sold on the market to the highest bidder, and they never see home again, ever. That's huge. And that's one of my biggest concerns. Somebody been given drugs or something dropped in their drink, or there's people there against their will,
Absolutely.
being sold.
Absolutely.
And that's huge. So I don't know how you get around that if the evidence supports it.
Absolutely. Well,
You should.
Michael Brown says Machine Gun Kelly and Shine Ben spoke the truth. Mace told them. I don't know.
Oh, also, Mike, the Locks, when they left Bad Boy, they left for a reason. I'm sure they had a non-disclosure, but they said without saying they couldn't get with what was going on.
Right.
Big was huge. He said, I don't do the after parties with Puff. While Big was alive, Jada Kiss said, we don't do the after parties with Puff.
Eminem too?
Eminem was never signed to Bad Boy. He was never.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
He was never
talking
in that.
about. He's talking
I'm
about
just talking about the people who were with
okay.
him on a consistent basis. I'm sure Eminem visited New York before and maybe gone to a party. I remember.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
but
like people.
I'm
who
talking about
just
people that were
don't-
his artists.
Oh,
Right.
I
And were
don't know
there
who were
and
his
was
artists.
invited to these things that just didn't go
Right.
because they knew what was going on.
Well, I agree with Mike, and like he said, Mike Hopkins, he said that's sickening. It is all very sickening, and I do agree with you, Mike Brown, as well. We do have to let God be the judge of everything, and
We also need to let a judge be the
right.
judge.
And that's where I was going. God is. We allow God to be the judge, and that's why everything is rolling out the way that it is, because everything has been exposed. So that's my take on it.
What's done in darkness will come to light.
Come to the light.
Yeah.
That's it.
That part right there.
That's it.
Not really.
All right. So we know, if do y'all out there have any more comments about the whole Diddy situation? I mean, at first, I know when we first came on, we talked about it, I think once,
Yeah.
and we was like, okay, and it was all centered around TD Jakes and probably the B2K
Yeah,
guys,
I think we may have
but
talked about that once.
we didn't go into detail, and some people actually asked during that particular show, and we wouldn't go into detail because we didn't have enough evidence around it, and we didn't want to just spread rumors or make assumptions. But now, this is what nation
Public news.
knowledge world.
Public
Right.
I mean, as far as the United States, I'm sure the other countries know too. But yeah, everybody know now.
I just want to see what your bets are on. Do y'all think Diddy gets there and starts singing like a stool pigeon and start incriminating major people? Or does he probably know that if he opens and starts singing, he's not going to make it?
Yeah, that's
The
what.
second part.
That's what I'm thinking. Somebody said,
Like,
"Why Puff never find out the real deal about Kim Porter or Biggie? He has so much blood on his hands."
We'll never know.
We'll never know. If it ain't wrapped up in this, and people go back and revisit those particular things, we'll never know. We will never know. That just goes to show that his money is long, and all money ain't good money, and some
That's
people
true.
just truly sell their souls to
That's real.
to gain the popularity of this world, and then after a while they're gonna be exposed, and it's just gonna all come crashing and crumbling down.
Right. It just seems like the entertainment business itself is
Wicked.
so depraved and so
It's
100%.
wicked.
Just
like out of all the industries,
corrupt.
the entertainment
But we know why.
business is
100%.
right, because
That was Lucifer.
that was Lucifer.
Lucifer. He was over the music.
Yeah.
So-
and movies and acting and singing.
That was him. And
Yeah.
and it's something that it is something that feels good to you and that entertains you, and of course on the Christian side of it is something that restores your soul. And it's just like when he got kicked out of heaven, he just perverted all of that,
Right.
and he took it, and everything that is real when it comes to Christ, he made it a counterfeit
Right.
when it comes to the world. So
Absolutely.
it's like yin and yang.
And
Yeah.
he made these people be huge because he knew that other people would follow them because
mean,
they
it's
got
like-
money.
Yeah.
They're huge. They have influence.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's just like all of those people in the industry trying to tell people that like you have to sell your soul.
Right.
And if you don't, then
Goes
on
back
the
to what
blacklist.
Marlon was
Yeah.
saying. I'll give you all of this if
Right.
you do this.
And it's a reason. Now y'all know this. The best singers you'll never know. Were never signed, never made it. I know some people on the block that out sing a lot of these singers. I know some people on the block that out rap some of these dudes. Some people make it and some people don't. It's a reason for that.
Yeah.
mm,
It is a reason.
Absolutely.
Some people are willing to go the extra mile, and some people are not.
That's why some people say, like, some people that are more popular get popular, and people ask them why they're not signed, and they're like, "I'm not selling my soul, so I'm gonna try to make it as an independent artist or do what whatchamacallit did, Rich Homie, sign yourself."
Yeah. The bets are in. So Marlon was trying to figure out, was he going to roll over and talk, or was he going to not? Mike said he's selling them votes.
Oh, he's not
Yeah.
going down by himself. I
He's
don't believe
definitely,
it.
I feel like he's definitely one of those people. If I'm going down, some other people going down too.
someone's
Like,
going down with me.
I'm not going down by myself,
Yeah,
dog.
Agreed.
All right.
Okay.
So, guys, another thing in the newspaper, y'all know about what happened in Birmingham. Okay. Some guys jumped out of a vehicle, sprayed You know, a crowd of people killing 4 and injuring 17 at this point. So shooting a total of 22 people. They said they found over 100 shell casings on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And what would make some idiot like if you're after one person or two, you're gonna shoot into a crowd of people and kill just a bunch of people, dropping people. What is in the mind of the people that has just a complete, lack of respect for life at all? If somebody wronged you, you got beef, y'all beefing, things get out of hand, y'all start shooting, you hit who you beefing with.
Right.
That's old school. We don't. The collateral damage involved with just jumping out and spraying into a crowd of people coming out of a hookah,
bar,
cigar lounge, just spray it into the crowd. What must a person be thinking? Like I just can't.
They not. They cold hearted. I mean, like you said, they have no remorse, no consideration of life. It's just like, I don't know, because the 4 people that all lost their lives, all were murdered unnecessarily, were all under 30 years old. Every last one of them were under 30 years old. And for people to have just that type of disregard for life, it really makes you not even want to do anything. And you don't want to live your life scared, because of course we know that, we're all protected or whatever the case may be. But in certain situations, it's almost like you don't even really want to go anywhere for real. Especially when a whole bunch of young people are around, you just don't even want to be around it.
Yeah, it's just like a crowd now. It's not my thing. Once I see people crowding up, that's when it's time to go.
Yeah,
because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who's gonna pull out what.
Who got beef with who?
You don't want to go to the mall. You don't want to go anywhere. Like, it's just it's ridiculous, sad. And it's really something sad that you can't run from. Yeah. It's something that you have to go outside at some point. You have to go to Walmart. You got to go to work. You got to go get clothes, get shoes. But then it's just like, I'm going here to shop and get a shirt for work, and I might not make it back because some person just beefing with somebody over there. Now everybody is at risk, or some stupid gang affiliation or something is going on, and it's just like, I can't stay in my house forever, but I don't want to go outside.
But it's a blessing. It is so underrated how many times we leave our house and come back safely. It's just like lot of people take a lot of things for granted.
Absolutely.
And, with everything that's going on in the news, the temperature of the country, I mean, it's just like a blessing that you can return home safe.
Well, there's a reason why a lot of those were under 30. Because the older you get, you realize it's crazy out there. And I don't want to hang with these young people. And I just talked to a young guy at work, and I hate to keep coming at this Gen Z generation, because it's like, man, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all act like this? It makes it look like I'm throwing stones, but we didn't quite do it like this, guys. And he's saying, but who raised us? His point was, well, who raised his generation? It was Gen Xers, us. Mm-hmm. That gave birth and raised this Gen Z generation, and I'm sure we did our crazy things, guys. We really did, but this is completely out of hand. Like I can't. I'm trying to think of a solution, and I feel like, this going to get to a point where parents, to save their child, are going to have to start turning them in. Mm. Because what Lil Pookie doing, you know what Mike doing, Lil Mike.
You might not want to admit it.
When he out there shooting and killing people or selling drugs, like, you trying to protect your child, but protecting your child is killing other children and people, and sometimes it might be better to teach your child, by putting them in a cage than putting them in a casket.
Hey.
And I know nobody wants to do that, but it's completely out of hand now.
It is to the point where, like, I think we had mentioned on the last show, to the point where the governor here in Georgia had to send down a task force to clean up the city, and they may be doing it for other motives around it, but still, in the same, they had to come in and clean up cities, or whatever the case may be, and it's not gonna just stop at Georgia. When you have
No.
these cities trying to bring money into their towns, into their cities, and then you have people out here doing silly, crazy stuff like this, they're gonna have they not gonna have no other choice. And
Right.
I mean, to the point of when you said you was talking to the young gentleman at your place of employment, and he was like, who raised us? To me, that's a cop out. It really. No, and don't get me wrong. I do feel like it.
And he's not
does,
one of the people out there.
I know that, but I feel like there's some truth behind it. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of us did a great job at raising our kids.
Absolutely.
A whole bunch of us, and I'm not just talking about our parenting. I'm talking about a lot of people that's around me. Their kids are not like this. Their kids are the ones that more than likely will be the victim in it all, with a stray bullet coming or whatever the case may be, or be scared to go here or there. But it's like it's a lot of us that did a decent job raising our kids. So that can't just be the sole answer. It got to be deeper than that.
I agree.
We have talked about this as a family. I've talked about this outside, but it's like it's almost cool to do this stuff because we're seeing back to the entertainment industry. We're seeing and hearing in songs, you gonna lay somebody out, this, you gonna shoot this person, you got away with it.
I'm gonna put
This
money in
is
your
not
head.
right. This
Yeah.
is not that. You don't have these types of resources.
And see,
Right.
and then going back to that, I can somewhat agree with that because of how everything is so easily fed to this generation. They're walking around with this in their hand all day long, and so it's not only the parenting, but it's the social media, and it's like you said,
Absolutely.
the songs, and it's the movies that you're watching, and it's the games that you're playing. It's so much other outside influence that is also getting to these children,
Right.
And I do think, just like, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it, it's just like. I'm probably not gonna say it, but
don't if you
yeah, I'm not gonna say it. But it's almost like it's a trend, or it's just popular to
Yeah.
do that.
Absolutely.
I was-
And we definitely, I'm sorry.
No.
We definitely, don't get us wrong. We did not grow up where we couldn't listen to this and we couldn't watch
So
this.
they listen
We
to it
grew
now.
up watching Scarface and all that stuff.
And
But
Family
we
Guy
had
and
those
the kids who play the
conversations.
game.
This is the real from the fake.
We had those conversations with our parents where they said, don't do this, because if you go out here and do this, you're going to jail or you're going to a casket. That's not real life, and that's not going to get you anywhere. And we definitely at a certain age couldn't watch everything or listen to everything. They sent us out. Like it was just when we become of age to know right from wrong. I think also too, it was just, as we always say about the whole family thing, our parents are in our lives, so we have that open communication where they tell us, this or this. We're not scared to tell our parents
Right,
things.
because it's a point where we can't shield you from everything. We have
Absolutely.
to explain it to
But
you
you
and
got to
have
live in the
you
world.
just to make sure you can rationalize what's good and what's bad. You can discern what's coming, because we can't shield you.
Nah.
But Marielle, you had
Yeah.
something.
Mary, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this while everyone was talking, and I like when you had said about how it's just like a spoon-fed generation. They want it instant, and it just made me think of like this deeper, like they want an instant gratification of
Mhm.
like somebody has bothered them, and the easy way to fix it is to just
Inflict harm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
and just to get rid of it very quickly and
Mhm.
easily, and that's like the quickest way. It's like an instant gratification
Yep.
that sends you into this like blood lust
Right.
in a
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
and
Now-
so then it's just like continuous.
So
Now, go ahead.
So Mike said it makes you realize some people don't care about anyone else or humanity. They really don't care. And then he said parents can't do the things to raise their kids right like it used to be back in the days. Wasn't no child abuse when we grew up. Parents could straighten us out by any means necessary. So what he's meaning is like
Belt to behind.
Yeah.
Belt to behind.
I was just talking about that with my
Yeah.
coworker today. I was like, all these kids these days do not get whooped.
Absolutely.
And we got whooped in front of other people, and so we didn't do nothing.
I don't think
I call. I know that there's some issues with that, but I call foul.
Yeah.
If you've been training your child and whooping your child and they growing up, they're not going to tell on you. You know what I'm saying? If you've been doing it right. But I know that there's, kids come in peer pressure. Look, my mama wouldn't do me like that. I'd call the police on my dad if he hit me. And I know there are influences outside of that. I'm sorry. They're getting it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, call the police. They can take you on.
Guys,
they can take you on too.
If we look back at this in kind of a scope, if y'all have ever watched Snowfall, based loosely on a real story, the government did go purchase these drugs, flood our communities, and see how we would respond. I mean, we couldn't go to Colombia and pick up drugs and come over here and do all this type of stuff. So they brought it here, dropped it in our communities. They hoped it would be centralized in our communities, but it spread to theirs.
Yep.
Okay. It became a bigger issue. They were funding wars and stuff with the money that was made from these drugs and also doing a dual purpose, killing the Black community. Okay. So if you've never come from anything and all of a sudden this new product comes out and you can buy you a Cadillac, put big rims on it, be the man in your block, and you've never had anything, of course, some people chose the latter, so let's go ahead and make this money, even though you're poisoning your community. Fast forward today, we're looking like, man, this is music. You're not Scarface. You're not this person. But when you find over $260 million worth of drugs in Columbus, Georgia, there's some Scarfaces out here. This is real. This is a real element.
Reality.
These people are not making chump change out of here. Right here in Columbus, Georgia, they found over $260+ million in drugs, cash, and weapons. Yeah. Guys, this is a huge problem. These guys are not there chipping, pushing dime bags and nicks and stuff like that, guys. $260 million in this city in one fatal swoop. Okay, this is a lucrative business for gangs and drug dealers.
Right.
They making stupid amounts of money. All right, so and some of these people are in gangs right now didn't need to be. Their parents had money. They chose. Mm-hmm. Literally, they weren't in impoverished situations. Not all of them.
For them.
It's a popularity thing. They chose to be the drug guy and make the real paper because nobody wants to work a 9 to 5 that's not glorious. You don't get props from the women. Girls don't like dudes with 9 to 5s in a specific place. They want the guy making the paper and they choosing. And there are women that are wanting the guys that do it. Absolutely. And the guys that are doing it are largely sometimes doing it for the women. I mean, it's gonna take a reframing our minds to realize that what are we really doing? Like, this is crazy.
Absolutely. I don't know. Maybe it's me, the way I think about it, and maybe I should have conversation with some people. But I just be thinking about it. If your boyfriend or husband or whoever do that, push weight, do all that, and he got some ops, and he pushing weight in your car or his car, and y'all got a family, and you're riding in his car, or he riding in your car, you're riding in your car, and they know these cars, what's to say they don't just
and we know
fire?
We know that nobody cares about collateral damage.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. They're going to open fire on your home family. Right. They're going to open fire on your house. At some point, you just got to think this easy money right here, this right here is not worth my whole entire life. And it's not worth.
But that's the thing. Some people feel like it is worth their whole entire life. And some people feel like there's no other way for them outside of the children that that parents have it, like on Power, Braden. He didn't have to do that, but he chose to because of how it made him feel or whatever the case may be. It wasn't even a girl involved in it. It was just how it made him feel.
And his friend.
His friend. But the fact of the matter is some people who don't care. Tariq didn't have to do it. His dad, I mean, he came up in a drug life, but his dad was trying to get him to
Right.
live a clean life. Period.
He wanted
But
to be a part of the family
wanted to
business.
be a part of the family business. So it's like it is the own choices that these people are making. Because my thing is, parents, I feel like there are a lot of good parents. I feel like even no matter where you are, what your situation is, the parenting is good. It's the choices that these people are making individually outside of what they're being taught. Period. That's how I feel. Everybody have their own choice. When you become of age, 12 years old, you're responsible for the own choices that you make. Parents, we are here to like steer our children the right way, of course, and we try to do a good job of it. But at the end of the day, it's so many different influences in this world, and it's gonna be up to that child to make the choice.
And like Dad said, it's gonna be up to the rest of us. These people, I don't even think a lot of them think, oh, it is worth my life, blah, blah. They just think I'm not going to get caught. These people scared of me.
Right.
They're scared of me. They're not going to do nothing. All I got to do is rough somebody up one time.
And get my homeboys.
Like The Hate You Give, that movie.
Yeah.
He done dang near scared that girl out of witnessing something that the cops did. It's just like,
I mean,
and they use what you have done against you.
Hey, what do you tell a 20-year-old kid? Here I am in my 50s. What do you tell a 20-year-old kid that makes more of one lick than I make in an entire year?
And they gonna be looking at, oh man, gone. Yeah. Oh man, get on out of here.
There's 20-something-year-olds that make more in 1 month than I make in a year.
Right.
Or 1 week than I make in a year. It's hard to tell that person, stop doing what you're doing.
Oh, for sure. And then they get whichever, like you said, they get whatever girl they want because they got money. They can do all this. Yeah, I understand that.
And that goes back to the war on drugs. And now everybody's scared of these boys.
Absolutely.
They're scared to go to the gas station at night. They're scared to do this. They're scared to do this.
I ain't going to the gas station.
You're scared to walk home from school off the school bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now.
You scared to send your kid to school at all.
15-year-old, you can't walk home. So now it's like, okay. And they're going to clean up Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
When the Braves bring that 3A farm team down here, what they're making the stadium for, guys, it's going to be a lot of eyes on Columbus. They're going to clean up the city.
By any
That's
means
why the task force is
necessary.
here. The old BMW is gone. Casita Road look different. Everything's going to look different. And they're not going to bring eyes to a place like this. And it's kill Columbus still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to make a change in Columbus. And we the thing that we fought Kamala Harris for and Joe Biden for way back in the days when it was called the war on drugs. Us black men were going to jail at an alarming rate and getting bigger sentences for doing drugs and gang activity.
Right.
And we got mad, but you got to understand, Mama Mabel and people on the street and people on the block, grandmamas then was calling the police saying, y'all got to do something about this.
Right.
And so when we went hard on them, you know, there was an outcry from the good law-abiding citizens to bring this law, this gang stuff and drug stuff to an end.
To correct it, yeah.
So when people say, okay, let's do it, it's going to come at a cost. It's going to be some black guys in jail that did kind of minor stuff that's going to do a slightly long sentence.
Right, we're going to make an example out of you.
Now, when they start to do that again, we're going to be crying about our young black men that are in jail, right? But now we have an opportunity before they go to jail to try to make a difference in their lives.
Right.
Absolutely.
The time for us to try to talk to somebody, be an OG to some of these boys, put a little young cat to the side and say, young fella, what you doing, bro? You know, we gotta do this and talk to your young members, your nephews, your sons, and things like that. Now is the time to talk before you go to jail.
Yeah.
You know, because now we'll be mad at the government again for not to lock them up when we scared to go outside. We scared to go to parties. We scared to go to things because of these young people, but we don't want them in jail either. So we're going to have to choose, you know, one or the other.
What do we want? What do you really want?
I'm telling you now, with my parents on the street and me, and then whenever I start a family and they start having kids and I got nieces, nephews, I want y'all out of here. I don't want them to not be able to play in the yard because we scared somebody gonna do a drive-by. Like, that's just ridiculous. Come on. At some point, it's ridiculous. And it has to stop. Like Dad said, y'all gotta start turning some of these people in, dog. But I don't even want to be friends with you. Honestly.
Right.
I want no parts, none.
Because every mother and father can't pick up and move to the suburb.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So your child, based on your income level, the type of apartment or home you
Yeah.
can afford, you're right in the middle of it.
Right,
You
and
know
they
what I-
should
and
be
I
safe
understand that.
everywhere.
And your child is going to be subjected to some things that other kids aren't subjected to because of where you live, and you got to work. And some people pulling second shifts. McMill said, if dad's not around, dad's locked up, or dad is dead, and mama's working 2 jobs to
Who
pay the
gonna
bills,
babysit?
who gonna
Streets.
babysit?
The
The
streets,
streets.
absolutely.
The streets gonna babysit. You know what I'm saying? And now you're in this situation where it's hard to afford to do anything else, and that part of the city is crazy. And you're looking at law enforcement and the government to help. And when they start locking up black men, now we like
But
free
then,
free Pookie. You know what I'm saying? Like what we gonna do?
but I feel like too, yeah, and I definitely agree. But I feel like also too, then we got to figure out, because it's easier said. It's
Absolutely.
easier said.
For sure.
So it's like what other incentive are we gonna try to create or give them so that they won't fall into that life? And that's the thing. Like, it got to be some other type of incentives and some type of programs
Yeah,
that we can
that takes these kids off the streets.
provide that will pique their interest to not go down that route.
Right.
I know a lot of times it just took Pastor Adam and McKenzie and them, some of them go to the rec on the other side of town and play basketball.
Yeah, literally.
And have a conversation. Like, a lot of these kids aren't bad, or a lot of these people aren't bad people. They just need somebody to step in.
To pay attention to
To
them.
pay attention. Because like you said, mama at work, daddy Lord knows where, or not around. It's hard. They feel like this is the only place that I'm being valued. They feel like
Right.
these gangs, and I can move up the ladders, and everybody listening to me, and that's where I belong, because that's where
They
my
care about
worth
me,
is.
and I
Right.
got protection. On top of that.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say something. Morgan said something that I said earlier, and I do need to harp on this. There's a common theme about some of these families. Where dad at? So I'm gonna speak to the fellas out there. A lot of this is not happening where there's a father in the home.
So,
And let's just be honest with it. We gonna have to change the narrative, black men, and it's gonna start with us being in home with our children, in the home. And I know it's a heavy stigma against us, and we want to fight this. Oh, you don't know the baby mama, she be tripping and all this type of stuff. So guys, there's a certain level of responsibility that we bear as the leaders and the heads of our homes, that when you chop off the head, the body will fall. And a lot of times the body without us is falling, and we're not there to provide that sobering help to our child and give them another way out and talk to them and give them reinforcement to come home, because we're just not present. And there are not enough OGs and people on the block to to fill in where we are not there. Child support is not enough, fellas. It's not enough. Our boys need fathers, and we can do everything. We can say what we want and rely on the system and other fathers and baby mama, new boyfriend, and everybody else to father our children. But guys, we are lacking in that category. We have to find a way to be home. And ladies, you have to let us, when we want to be involved, you have to let us be involved.
Absolutely.
Even if we don't have all the money that you want, or the full child support that we want, when a man wants to be involved physically and be able to talk to a child, he needs to be allowed to be there.
Right. Absolutely. And Ronald McCrae, what's up? He said, even with both parents in the house, the kids still go bad.
Yeah, but it's a smaller, percentage of that. And, yeah, of course.
And that is
when
two
great parents and the child go bad.
And that is when you turn them in. Right. At that point, you've done all that you can do. He might be a little psychopath or something.
Well, and I'm happy you brought that up, because a lot of times, a lot of these kids that are out here doing a lot of these things, it's like some of the things that they're experiencing either at home or in the neighborhood or walking backwards and forth to school. And these people have real trauma situations, PTSD. They have PTSD, and Black people, dear Black people,
Dear Black people.
Our mental health is important. I know a lot of times, we've been told or even we've been taught and growing up that we don't need to talk out our feelings, especially our Black men. We don't need to seek mental health, talk to a psychiatrist or a therapist or whatever the case may be. But your mental health is extremely important. I will be turning 50 years old next month.
Woo, woo,
And
shout out.
Whoop,
Hey,
whoop,
man,
whoop,
you
whoop,
don't look
whoop.
like it though. They be fine.
And
We didn't have to.
when I did not realize a panic attack or anxiety attack until I started getting in my older age and having like higher level of responsibilities with these corporations and businesses and things of that nature. And sometimes even things that just goes on in our personal lives. And this stuff is real. It's real. And a lot of times we need to just check on our children, check on their mental state, their mental status, make sure that they are okay, and not just dumb down that these children don't have feelings or they're not going through stuff because they may be in a good family, or they may be in a nice home, or they may be around a circle of friends, and we just feel like everything is okay. A lot of times, depressions just sneak up on people, and it's real.
And to what you said to that, we have been watching All American, and these kids in All American live in Beverly Hills. Like, they have anything that a kid our age could ask for, want. And there's this one specific girl who she don't have her family around, and
Right.
it takes a toll. Like, you can be around and not be around.
Yeah.
But I just really do feel like, the lack of our fathers in the home is an issue.
No, I 100%.
And I'm not saying that's going to make a difference in every case, but Adonis said, tough love, lock the ass up. Pops told me if I get arrested for drugs, stealing, or killing, that's why they build jails and prison. Don't waste that one phone call on me. I think that we know when our child is going down that road, right? And I think we rescue our children, and we always run down there and pay crazy amounts of money to get XYZ expunged off their record and make sure they don't go to jail. So little Mike, and little Pookie never gets consequences to their actions.
So they know, if I do it again, mama gonna bail me out. Daddy gonna bail me out.
There's a certain amount of dads a lot of times will say, let him sit in there. Teach him a lesson.
Bet you won't do it
and we know a lot of moms feel like, no, that's my baby. Get my baby out of there. You know what I'm saying? But there's something to say for there has to be
the different type of discipline versus nurturing.
There's different. And I feel like my job as a father is to prepare my son or my daughter for what life's going to give them when they grow up. Nobody's going to coddle them out there. There's nobody. My wife is going to nurture them and make sure they have everything she nurtures and I prepare. I'm going to prepare you what the cold world going to bring you, so children need to know that there needs to be consequences.
Adonis also said there are several programs out there to help our children. I did the Big Brother, Big Sister program for 15 years, and it's mind-blowing what my two little brothers told me. Scary. They all needed to be taught. They all need to be talked to and be heard.
Exactly.
Right.
Man, if not for my mom tearing my A up, I would have been in jail.
And Ronald McCray telling the truth, because my mom and Ronald mom was very much similar. That's what the fear of my mom kept me out of the streets.
And that's what it is for dads.
My mom wasn't my bestie.
Oh, that
wasn't my bestie. That was my mama, and I was terrified of consequences that she would bring. Because my mom didn't sell wolf tickets. If my mom said, if you do this, this is going to happen, bruh, that happened.
Of course.
It wasn't that way. I thought about it, and I'm going to give you another shot. We didn't do other shots at my house.
I said it. You had your chance, and you made your choice.
And Ronald telling the truth. I know his mom.
That's so true. Because I have a brother, and I'm telling you, with my dad being in the house, with our dad being in the house, there's just some stuff we not gonna do like that other parents would do.
And it's some stuff that they will challenge me on time and time and time again. I could tell them no 1,000 times, and then the first time their dad tell them no, then They done.
And see,
They
there
done
you
with
go.
it. They
There
done.
you go. You have the difference in the roles of the father and the mother. Because we know if we say it enough times, mama gonna fold. If I say it to dad, my dad gonna be like, no, and don't ask me
It
again.
depends on what it is.
Yeah,
Mama.
she'll
Yeah.
fall all the time. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm pretty much, yeah. You know, I'm gonna say what I say, and I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm gonna give you my whatever we talked about, and that's just that. But you need both. You need
Absolutely.
the rod and the staff.
Because like you said, I know there are, and I know people like this. There are, moms, single moms that because their dad is not around and they feel bad, so they let them get away with more stuff. Where he didn't have his dad around. And so they kind of use that as an excuse.
But
and I got to be mama and dad.
Yeah.
So now you want to be fun mom.
them.
Because now you got to be good cop and you got to be bad cop. So now you want to be lighter on the kid.
I know what time it is. So we got to bring this to a close because we're at an hour and 4 minutes. But I'm just saying, like, just think about the differences when our teacher called our mom. Our mom listened to the teacher and kind of knew that the teacher wasn't lying. And what did he do? And they'll come whoop your behind at the school. Nowadays,
or check you out.
Yeah, check you out and give you that thing. When you get back, you'll be acting right the next day.
I got 3 whoopings.
But what they do now? They jumping on the teacher. My child, they pulling hair. My child don't do this, and you got me messed up. And they pulling hair. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? But they cussing the teachers out when the teacher trying to tell you that your child up here tripping and acting up, and we go off on the teachers. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is, Lil Johnny never got consequences.
Absolutely.
Mama disputing what he did to the teachers. She'll cuss the teachers out. Teachers have no power. They call you and you take your child side every time. They're like, man, I don't even know what am I calling home for?
Right, I'm not gonna call home.
Now when the child grows up thinking I can do this and don't expect there to be a consequence because he never had any.
See,
and that's when the teachers lose faith in the parents and vice versa. Because the thing is, there has to be a relationship there, and then that's when and when I say the teachers lose faith in the parents. Once that's gone, they gonna start just labeling your child at that point because you ain't doing nothing about it. So at this point, I'm just labeling your child bad and go to the principal office. I ain't got nothing. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear you if you're not doing what I'm supposed to. Get out my class. And that's pretty much what you're gonna get.
I'm gonna tell y'all this last little story, and then I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. When I got in trouble with my teacher, I got 3 whoopings in one day. I was so scared that they called my parents, that the principal of my school called my mama and said, no, she's okay. Don't get her. Because I was boo-hooing. I'm talking about, don't let me get on this bus. Don't let her come take me. I didn't tell them that because I know my parents wasn't abusing me. But, you tend not to do stuff when you know there's going to be consequences at home. I'm talking about, and then when I told my mama what happened or what the teacher said, and when I told my parents, both of them, they was like, well, you should have let us handle that. You can't do the
scenario you talking about.
You should have let, it was only one scenario. I only got it after that. After that scenario, it was no more. That is why you need your parents.
I just
might say everybody's school need a Mr. Hensley.
Reach down there and get that book off that bottom shelf, boy. And you know what that means? So when you reach down, yeah, we got paddlings in school.
That's what I was going to say. When I was in kindergarten and first grade, that was the last year.
We got it all through elementary. But it kind of stopped after that. But
you did get the paddle. I never got one, but you did.
And Mr. Doremus was going to put the strap to you. If you had to go down there and sit on that green bench. No. Y'all know what the green bench was at Dawson. You go down there and sit on that green bench. But you're right, though. And Adonis said mothers are nurturers, fathers are protectors. Both are needed. You need both.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ronald said, the reason he stopped getting in trouble was because I realized I felt like I was embarrassing my mom.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's real because you knew that made your mom look some kind of way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
These kids nowadays, Rhonda, they don't care.
They do not care.
They don't care.
Yeah. But then you got to look at...
But that's real. We did. We knew that we was a reflection of home.
And I wanted to say this one last thing. When y'all was talking about who raised us, our generation, you gotta look. These parents are getting younger and younger.
Boy, that's true too.
And younger. So it's like a kid raising a kid, and they act just like their mama. Yeah, and I have heard that so many times. My mama, my best friend. My mama would slap me in the mouth if I called her my best friend.
Right. Yeah, we're not best friends.
No, we not.
We mom and daughter, we
not.
locked in.
Now, I love this girl.
And we
I'll do
always
anything
around
for
each
her.
other. Same with my dad. We always around each other, but them are not my friends. Those are my parents.
Well, guys.
All right, but before you
Okay.
before you close it, so I wanted to say thank you everyone who tuned in on your own, because I did not put a tag out there to everybody that we were finna get on, and y'all got on anyway. So I feel so loved and supported. We feel so loved and supported. So thank y'all so much for that.
That is funny.
And Rona, I do remember when Mr. Hensley picked you up over his head in class.
Oh,
I
my.
really do. I remember that for real.
And my
Ooh,
son
y'all say
is
what's
on
up to my brother.
FaceTime
Say what's
with
up,
his
Mackenzie.
wife.
Say what's up.
The other
Gotta
co-host
put
is
him on
not
the mic.
here.
Oh
You
yeah,
got-
put him on the mic. Say what's up, bro.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all still
Hey,
on
what's up?
podcast?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yes.
He said,
God, dog, it's 9:43.
We finna
I
wrap
know,
it up.
I
We finna
know,
wrap
but
it up.
we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're gonna get deeper in this next week.
Absolutely.
That we're gonna
Send-
talk more about this whole thing and
And call in. Call in.
yeah, if somebody wants to call in, I'll
Send
give you
in
the number.
videos if y'all want to do that. Send in comments or send in stuff. Tag us in the pages so we can talk about what y'all want to say.
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Until next time.
Thank y'all.
Hey.
Yeah, because sometimes y'all know the man when I walk through.
I be feeling like the man when I walk through. I ain't saying what they saying when I walk through. I got all these staring when I walk
Morgan.
through. When I walk through. When I walk through. Now watch me walk through. Watch me, hey, watch me walk through.
Y'all, we love y'all out there. Y'all are the
Bye.
reason that we're here. Thank y'all for chiming in. My turn, my
My
truth.
truth.
Signing